Today we're on pages 96 and 97, Unit 3, Lesson 8, Fluency with Exponents. It's important when you have an exponential expression that you can rewrite, convert quickly and correctly. So we are completing these tables without a calculator. 2 to the first, that's 2. 2 to the negative 1 is 1 over 2 to the positive 1, which is simply 1/2. 2 squared, 2, let's try that again, 2 squared is 4. 2 to the negative 2, that's 1 over 2 to the positive 2, which is simply 1/4. 2 to the positive 3 is 8. 2 to the negative 3 is going to be 1 over 8. You see the pattern? 2 to the 4th is 16. 2 to the negative 4 is 1/16. 2 to the 5th, 32. 2 to the negative 5, 1 over 32. 3 to the 4th, 81. 3 to the negative 4, 1 over 81. 3 to the 3rd, 27. 3 to the negative 3, 1 over 27. 3 squared, 9. 3 to the negative 2, 1 over 9. 3 to the first, 3. 3 to the negative 1, 1/3. 4 to the 3rd is 64. 4 to the negative 3 is 1 over 4 to the positive 3, which is 1 over 64. 4 squared, 16. 4 to the negative 2, 1/16. 4 to the negative 1, 1/4. 7 to the negative 1, 1/7. 8 to the negative 2, 1/64. 10 to the negative 3, 1 over 1,000. Let's go the other way. 81, we know that's 9 squared, or we can have 3 to the 4th. 1 over 81 would be 9 to the negative 2, or 3 to the negative 4. 25, 5 squared. 1 over 25, 5 to the negative 2. Again, and you can certainly do these yourself. Pause the video and work through them yourself on your own. 27, that's 3 cubed. 1/27 would be 3 to the negative 3. 1,000, that's 10 to the power of 3. 1/1000 would be 10 to the negative 3. 16, 4 squared, or 2 to the 4th. 1/16, 4 to the negative 2, or 2 to the negative 4. One 1/64, that would be 8 to the negative 2, or 4 to the negative 3. 1/36, 6 to the negative 2. 1/21 is 11 squared. 1/49, 7 to the negative 2. 125, 5 to the power of 3. 1 over 125, 5 to the negative 3. 1 over b is b to the negative 1. 1 over b to the power of 3 is b to the negative 3. 1 over a to the 6th is equivalent to a to the negative 6. 1 over c to the 4th is c to the negative 4. Here we have radical form. We have the cube root of a squared. You have to know is a to the, remember, the 3 is the root, and roots go below the ground, so underneath the fraction bar. So that's a to the 2/3. The 5th root of a to the 7th is a to the 7/5. This is square root of a to the third. That would be a to the 3 over 2. Right? The index there, or the root, is 2. The fourth root of a is a to the 1/4. The square root of a to the 1/2. The sixth root of a squared, this is a to the 2 over 6. The 2 is the power that goes above the fraction bar of the exponent, and the root is 6 that goes in the denominator of our exponent. The square root of 5 would be 5 to the 1/2. The cube root of 9 is 9 to the 1/3. The fourth root of 11 is 11 to the 1/4. The fifth root of a squared is equivalent to a to the 2/5. Now we have several columns. Okay. Let's see. We want to take, well, our first example, we have 2 to the negative 3x. That's equivalent to 2 to the negative 3 raised to the x, right? Because a power to a power, you would multiply. So really what we're doing is we're taking this piece and just putting it in parentheses and then raising it to the power outside. All right, so now 2 to the negative 3 is equivalent to 1/8. So we write this as 1/8 to the x. And now here, this is where we will use a calculator. 1/8, 1 divided by 8 is equivalent to 0.125. Now that we have it written as a single base to an exponent, base to the exponent x, is this growth or decay? Well, since the base 1/8 is less than 1, this is decay. Let's try the next one. 7 raised to the negative 2x. So I'm just going to take and rewrite this as 7 raised to the negative 2 raised to the power of x. They're equivalent. A power to a power, we multiply those powers. So 7 to the negative 2 raised to the x is equivalent to 7 raised to the negative 2x. Now, what is 7 to the negative 2? It's 1/49. So this is 1/49 raised to the x. 1/49, 1 divided by 49. Is this decimal? What should we do? How many decimal places? I think I'll just copy the whole thing down. 0.0204081633 raised to the x. This also is decay. Four to the negative x. This is 4 to the negative 1 raised to the x. 4 to the negative 1 is 1/4 raised to the x. 1/4 is 0.25. This also is decay because our base is less than 1. 5 to the negative 3x. 5 to the negative 3 raised to the x. 5 to the negative 3 is the same as 1 over 1/25. Right? 5 to the positive 3 is 1/25. Since it's negative, it goes down in our denominator. What is 1 divided by 1/25? It's 0.008. Right? This base is less than 1, so we are working with decay here. we have growth. We have growth when our base is greater than 1. And decay when our base is less than 1. Okay, number 10. Or sorry, not number 10, but we have 10 to the negative 2x is equivalent to 10 to the negative 2 raised to the x. 10 to the negative 2 is 100. 100 is 0.01. Decay. Next we have 1/5 raised to the 2x. We'll rewrite this as 1/5 squared raised to the x. 1/5 squared is 1/25. And 1/25, isn't that 0.4? 1 divided by 25? Oh, 0.04, good thing I checked. 0.04 raised to the x, still decay. We haven't had any growth so far. 1/2 raised to the 4x. Change colors. 1/2 to the 4th raised to the x. 1/2 to the 4th. That's going to be 1/16 to the x. 1 divided by 16 is 0.0625. Two-fifths raised to the negative 3x. That's 2/5 to the negative 3 raised to the x. Now 2/5 to the negative 3. I'm going to flip it, so that's 5/2 raised to the power of 3, and 5/2 raised to the power of 3 is going to be 1/25/8 raised to the x. And you can, again, for this part, we can use the calculator. So if I have 2/5 raised to the negative 3, 1/25/8. And what is 1/25? Oh, I have it on the calculator, so now I can simply do math and then go down to 2. We'll decimal. We'll change the fraction to a decimal. So that's 15.625. To the x. So finally, yay, we have one growth. The base is greater than 1. 4/5 raised to the negative x. Change colors. That is 4/5 to the negative 1 raised to the x. And that would mean I would just flip that fraction, so that's 5/4 raised to the x. And 5/4 is 1.25? 1 1/4, right? 5 divided by 4? Yep, 1.25. 1.25 to the x. And this also is growth. And our last one, 5/6 raised to the negative 2x. That's 5/6 to the negative 2 raised to the x, and 5/6 to the negative 2. And you can use your calculator. 5/6 raised to the negative 2. To take care of the negative, I flip the fraction, so that 6/5 squared would be 36/25 raised to the x. 36/25. And that's definitely greater than 1. Have it on there, just hit math, And number 2, that's 1.44 to the x, and this also is growth. Okay, thank you very much for your attention.